Alright, so welcome back to learning about functions. So this is going to be the time where we actually use that collated, uncollated example. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you a common problem in programming, and that's what do I do if I really want my function to return multiple things. This has been a problem for decades, right? So I mean, C kind of introduced this idea of you return one thing from a function, and that's what it does. And so that's kind of been a problem. People have found ways around it. So you pass in pointers is the way you've always kind of gotten around it. Or you return an array, so you can put multiple things in there. Swift kind of followed suit after Python, and they made a way to return multiple values by using tuples. So what we're going to do in this example is we're going to make a new function. We're going to call it string letter repeater. And the idea of string letter repeater is that it's going to give you two values. So if you pass in ow and you say 4, it's going to give you two things back. It's going to give you a collated version and then an uncollated version. So the collated version would just be, you know, ow, 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 ow. And then the uncollated version would be ow, couldn't resist. So that's our goal. Let's go take a look at our code. So we've got our previous function all set, and that's going to be good because I'm going to kind of copy that down to make my life easier. So I'm going to copy this function into this area because it's got a lot of good, useful code. I'm also going to uncomment the code down here that we're going to call. So we're going to call this string letter repeater, so it's going to actually have a different name. And it's, of course, yelling at me because I've got various syntax errors so far. And so string letter repeater is going to take the same two arguments, a string and a repeat count. But what it's going to do is it's going to actually return two things. So it returns a string and another string. And you put these in parentheses here to show that it's actually a tuple coming back. Now there's different things you can do with tuples and how you receive the return value. The way that I like to do it is I like to actually just say this equals a tuple, and it'll just put it into each spot correctly. You could also have it return one thing and then break it down, but I like this syntax better. And then the return value, what it's going to have to do is it's going to have to return a tuple at the bottom, and then this should actually quit yelling at me with complaints. So you can see that string letter repeater, the collated version is already done, so that stuff was the same, but the uncollated version currently says test. So you can see that we've actually done the important thing already, and that's saying that we're returning a tuple and then setting it to where we receive both values from that tuple, and then we're actually passing a tuple out here. The only thing we're really missing is the actual implementation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to call it repeated letters, just because I needed some name. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a loop over each individual character that was found in the original string. So this is one easy way to just loop over characters. It's nice that strings make it so easy to loop over characters. And then what I'm going to do inside of here is I'm going to take my repeated letters and I'm going to append something to it. I'm going to append like, all those O's, like 4 O's. Turns out there's a nice function for doing repeated values. So if we pass in count repeated values, that's just a constructor on a string. So if I wanted to, I could actually just say repeat count, and then whatever the character is whatever letter I was working with. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see all that on my screen. If I move this over, I can almost get you there. But this is just one of the constructors that's built into a string, and it turns out to be kind of perfect for what we're wanting to do here for our uncollated version. This helped us avoid a nested loop, right? So now we can see that we've got the implementation that we wanted. We've got the collated version, which is ow, ow, ow. And then we've got the uncollated version, which is ow. You could try it with a couple different examples if you'd like as well. But the important thing here is that it's now easy to return as many different things as you want. And you don't have to do these hacky workarounds with passing in pointers. All right, so that's it for returning multiple values. We'll see you next time.